So now that we've got all those, we're building the last of those beds. Well, temporary haystacks of beds. That should help. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this workbench to top priority because I believe I did forget to do that. This one's going to be second priority because that's a plank workbench, and this one's going to be second priority as well because this is also going to be a plank workbench. It's going to craft pine logs until we have 20, and this will do the same. This will keep all of our craftsmen busy. All of our beds are built now, our hay beds. We're going to set anybody who's not doing anything to clean the floor there. Although right now it looks like all of our farmers are working and planting those strawberry seeds. So I doubt for a while that anybody will not be busy. Although these farmers will all be doing that at the same time because they're all doing the same thing and they all have the same job. It is important to get that dormitory out, though, because otherwise your gnomes will be sleeping for way too long, because they'll just be falling asleep on the floor and not getting a good sleep. That's actually taken into account. There's a lot of depth in this game that some people that first start playing this game don't really understand, because there's a lot of depth that isn't really in other games, which really is what makes this game such a great game. So, now we have enough stuff to make our first workshop, our first really important workshop. This is the stonecutter workshop. So we're going to go and make our stonecuttering workshop. Actually, we do need a workbench. That was my fault. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to place it down there and just tell it to... I'm going to not craft the missing ingredients because we actually are making that right now. We got the workbench. That's the next thing that this gnome is going to make with these pine planks. And we'll see that pop out. And then once this is ready to build, this will turn green and one of our gnomes will start building that. A word of advice for this game as well: if you're having troubles getting your gnomes to do something, definitely take a look at your professions, and you can completely copy the professions that I have in the two that I use. I'm perfectly okay with that. I know how useful it can be to have good professions, a good set of professions. So now that we have our stonecutter, we're going to tell it to craft at least 20 blocks at a time. So this thing will not stop working until it gets at least 20 blocks. And the next thing we have to make is well, you actually have a choice here. You can either build the carpenter, build the stonemason, because we want to make a sawmill so we get planks faster. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to have one of our craftsmen on the stone cutting machine and just getting a bunch of stone blocks ready for us. And in the meantime, we're going to try and get up a carpenter. So what we're going to want to do now is kind of lay out an area for some of our workshops to be. Because this is not a very big area. We're going to run out of space here soon. So I have to think here. I have to think where I want this to be. We could have a carpenter that's outside. It's probably one of the first times I've put a workshop outside. I think is I kind of want my carpenter to be close to the stockpiles, because it's a pretty important crafting bench, crafting workshop. So I'll have to think here. I guess we can put the carpenter there, and we will disable the craft missing ingredients just to make sure that it didn't have this turned on. Yep, I did. So I don't want these to accept jobs. Right now, these two crude workbenches are just making planks. This is the one that's making the chair, the workbench, and the chisel. I'll clean up the sapphires as well. Our farmers are about to finish planting their strawberry crop. They've almost covered the entire crop. Now, as you can see, what's going on now is we've actually got all of our landlords sleeping at the same time, while all of our craftsmen are awake. This is the kind of nocturnal effect I was talking about, where some gnomes will sleep during the day, some will sleep during the night, simply because of how allotted how many beds they have, and how they have to sleep sometimes, and how long they sleep because of how many beds they have, and the fact they're sleeping on the floor. So yeah, a lot of stuff gets taken into account in this game. One thing I'm failing to understand with my craftsmen is why they're not cutting down these trees. Alright, so another thing I'm going to go ahead and put in my tracked items. This is where you can, up here, it says depth, food and drink. Food and drink are tracked items. I'm going to create a new group. This is going to be bandages. You want to track how many bandages you have in your kingdom. That's pretty important. Because bandages will, just trust me, you want to make sure you have enough of those. And we'll get into then crafting those. One of the first kind of lines of crafting we have to do is the ones that get us bandages. So yeah, it is very important. Very important. Where did our yak go? Are we eating? Then we also want to track our amount of logs. Just raw logs. And also our amount of planks. Because if you're wondering why you don't have any planks and you see that you don't have any logs, that can really help you out there. Our yak is all the way up there. Okay. It's because these still haven't been cleaned up, so we probably went over there to get the wheat straw. Alright, finally our farmers, or I guess our landlords, I should stop calling them farmers, they do a lot more than that. But they're finally starting to clean up the stuff that we told them to, because they're done with their farm here. So I'm going to keep them on that duty. I'm not even going to set up the grove yet, because we don't have enough clippings, because our craftsmen are not cutting down the trees. So that's what they're doing. They're cleaning up everything. We currently have a pine chair and a chisel, and we're working on the workbench now. So our landlords are currently cleaning up the whole area, which is cool. Some of them are going down to clean up the resources from down here as well. Very helpful. I'm also going to tell our miners when they wake up to dig some stairs down. Not there. I'm doing the branch mine technique that I did before. Just to make sure that we have enough. Don't want to go too crazy. Trust me, you just don't want to mine out too much, because you will perish. Got that coal and sapphire. Got some of that coal and sapphires coming out there as well. And they're finishing cleaning up the stuff I told them to clean up. I'm also cleaning up the straw that's over there. All I'm going to do now is go to professions. There's something, it might actually be, yeah, I think that's it. Agriculture, grove. Okay. It might have been yeah, that's it. Okay. What I had, it was actually agriculture, not grove. So that actually puts me a little bit behind, because I wanted my my craftsmen to be cutting down those trees a little bit earlier than they did, so that my farmers would be able to plant those saplings. What we're actually going to have to do now, just so our farmers are actually doing something, our landlords, we're going to give them the option of cutting trees. So they can help out with the effort. Actually, that's a lie because they can't. They don't have the tools. Oh, this is a little sucky. What we'll do then, we'll take that away because I actually don't want anything I don't need. And we're going to designate the area for the grove. I like birch. So, birch. And all the farmers are going to get on to planting those birch trees. Have you guys foraging stuff over here while you're not planting those trees. So what our landlords end up being is what you would think a landlord would be. Alright. I didn't even realize that we had a carpenter. That's great though. Alright. What we need now is we need these to continue making our planks. You know what? Alright. What are we gonna do? I'm just gonna deconstruct this crude workbench. Which means all this is gonna get cancelled. Okay. Shoot, I actually don't want to deconstruct this one because I want to get that I won't be able to put anything else there. So cancel that job. Alright. What's going to happen is our carpenter, since it's a bit faster, is going to make our workbenches. It's going to craft at least 2 of those. It's also going to make our chairs. At least 2 of those. And that's going to be it for now. We're going to put this at top priority. Everything else right now, even this one, is going to be on plank duty. And they're all going to be at second priority. This one is going to accept job requests, and this one's actually going to make at least 1 chisel before making the planks as well. The rest of them are not going to accept. The rest of the crude workbenches are not going to accept generated jobs, but are going to create planks. So yeah. And the carpenter here is going to create the workbenches and the chairs. There was something else here I think I'm missing. Yes, craft 2 of those. Oh, more important though. Torch. I want like 10 of those. Well, to start out, we'll set like 5. Okay. Next workshop that we need to make is the stonemason. And we need the chair and the workbench that the carpenter is going to create. I'm going to go ahead and set down the location for the actual stonemason. I think it's going to be there. We will turn off the craft missing materials because we are crafting those materials. Although what I am wondering what is happening is we have... It should be at top priority. Yet it is not, because they're not working here. Maybe because they haven't finished their current job. Yeah, there we go. They just hadn't finished their job they were doing at that workstation. We also still have a lot of our craftsmen working outside, so we're going to be low on the craftsmen for a while. Alright, so now what we want to do is we want to think about what how we're going to defend ourselves when the first day of summer comes and we start getting attacked. All we have here is a giant mountain. Now, you see these little slopes here? Monsters can very easily come down here and make us not really have a good day. So what we're going to do is we're going to remove a lot of the ramps that we have right here. That is the ramps that bring us up this mountain. And we're going to probably create a wall across each way. Yeah, we're probably going to create a wall right across here and right across here. Actually, we'll like create the wall here or something. I don't know. We'll create a small little wall over here. And then we'll make sure that nothing comes down on this mountain, so I'll have to get rid of all these slopes as well. So we'll figure that out. We have another... sorry, yeah, we have another 8 days until we have to worry about that. Well, until things come to attack us, I guess. Oh, I guess I just need to make planks. Alright. It's looking good so far. I want to make sure I continuously save, because I have had crashes in this game before that have set me back quite a lot. Another thing we want to create semi-quickly. Now, this isn't... you could argue this isn't as important right now. I like to do this early anyway, just so we do get a good batch of gnomes early on. And that is create a little area for our Great Hall. Now, the Great Hall is a area that, if it's worth quite a lot, or if it's worth, you know, something, it becomes you end up getting some more gnomes, which is good. Because every year during summer, you get gnomes. You get nomads that come from nearby kingdoms. The more worth your kingdom has, the more nomads you get. And something that, you know, attunes to worth is like, I guess, what your room is made of and stuff like that. And if you even have a town hall, so you need a town hall. So yeah. All of our miners, it looks like, are the ones that are actually cutting down the trees. They're also both the miners. They have both tools. So what we're going to do, actually. I think we're going to go ahead and... I think we have enough logs for now. We need them to do a few other things, so we're going to shift this down. Oh, sorry. I need to go to craftsman. We're going to shift down the agriculture a little bit. We're going to put that below workshop for now, because we need them to do some other things. They can go back to that at some point, but we need to get more advanced in the mining and more advanced in the workshop. All right. Am I not this area now? I'm gonna build some torches out here. We got some clippings being cut over here by our landlords. Those clippings are being planted in our grove over there. Those will soon grow into full-grown birch trees that the landlords will cut clippings from, chop down, and replant. All of our craftsmen are now sleeping. I'm gonna clean out this area. This is gonna end up being our Great Hall area. Once again, the people that usually end up cleaning out areas are the landlords once they're done with whatever job they're doing. So once they're done cutting clippings and planting in the grove, that's what they'll do. Looks like we're getting some blocks made. Got a bunch of basalt blocks here. I'm actually going to decrease this to 10 because right now I need these craftsmen really to be working on making planks a bit more. It is taking a bit too long for my liking. I'm going to get this stonemason made with the carpenter. At least our landlords are doing work. Not got any ores in this mine, looks like, unless we get some over here. Oh, we did get some coal. Which means I'm probably going to mine out that whole area there, because it's probably going to be some coal in that area. Yep, there's the coal. So we have 2 chairs now. Next thing we're probably going to be working on is the workbenches. This requires a workbench and then we're good. Just make sure that is the next thing we're working on. Yes, it is, and it needs planks. Benches. I think they require quite a lot of planks actually. Require 6. Yes, we need 3 more planks. Or sorry, 2 more. Well, depending on if we need more birch or if we need more pine planks. So it looks like they've cut all the clippings now, the landlords, and now they are hauling a bunch of these logs into our home. They're putting these clippings into bags. Cool. I would like them to clean this floor though, I'm not sure. I usually... Oh, there we go. Cool. Stonemason. First thing we need to make. Quickly, we're going to make a trough. Just one. So that this yak doesn't have to keep going over here. Shoot. Stonemason's going to be a priority 1. This is where we're going to make our chisels now. We're also going to make saw blade, 2 saw blades, and a knife. So, trough, chisels, 2 saw blades, and a knife. It's also going to make sure it keeps 1 chisel. Alright, and because of that reason, well, actually not yet, but we will be removing these crude workbenches soon. So this is going to make another chair and then a workbench. What we need to make next is a sawmill, which requires 1 chair, a saw blade, and a workbench. So now it's down. The carpenter is going to make that workbench, and the saw blades are being made. I usually make 2 sawmills. That's why I made 2 saw blades, or told it to make 2 saw blades. So yeah, it's like my farmers or my landlords are all asleep now. Oh, I'm guessing the stockpile... Yeah, that does make sense. The stockpile's full. So let's go ahead and designate another crap pile. So we can clean out this area over here. Get a torch builder over there to lighten up that room. got a trough as well, so let's go build furniture trough. Let's go build a torch over here. Got one of our saw blades made as well. Now they've cleaned up this room, we're gonna make this room a little bit more fancy. I'm gonna go terrain, replace floor, stone floor. I'm gonna replace the floor of this room with some of our basalt. And it looks like the landlord's gonna get onto that because they don't have anything else to do right now. That's why I love the landlords, because unless their farms are busy, or if they need people to put food in their troughs or something, they're always there to help out, which is cool. And this should increase the worth of this room, which, as I said, is going to be our great hall. All of our craftsmen are now asleep. As it looks. Soon I'm gonna let the landlords cut some more clippings from the birch trees. But for right now, this is what they're gonna do. Okay. I'll be back in a second once this is done and the floor has been cleaned up. Alright, I'm back. Our craftsmen are waking up and they're getting back to work. And right now we're cleaning up the floor for our soon-to-be grand hall. Another thing I want to go ahead and do is for our... this is going to be for our craftsmen. I'm going to go ahead and remove the jobs for these trees that I set for them earlier, because there's something special I need them to do quick. So cancel all these jobs. What I want to do is I want to wall off this area here, starting from, we'll just pick a random spot right here. So in order to wall off this area, we need to get rid of the trees in that little area there. We can do the same thing over here if we want to wall that off. Okay. So now what we're going to do is go to population, professions, craftsmen, and we want to put agriculture back on the top there. So they're going to want to clear out those trees now for us and help us out. As you can see, they're doing that, which is cool. Axe in one hand, pickaxe in the other. The life of a craftsman. So the landlords are almost done cleaning out this room. I'm going to tell them to cut clippings from these birch trees, not from the apple trees. Designate this area as dining room and Great Hall. As you can see, the worth right now is 2, which really isn't much, obviously. But what we're gonna do now? Well, actually, we can't do it from the stonemason, but we will be making this worth a lot more later. And you are the slowest builder. All right, now we have the bone carver. Bone needle, craft 2, 1. We do not have any bones right now. We won't for, I don't know. Honestly, it could be a day. It could be a bit longer. It's gonna be priority 1.